Look at Matthew 26 and go to verse 7. Matthew 26 and verse 7. There came unto him a woman having an alabaster box of very precious ointment, and poured it on his head as he sat at meat. Okay? She brings an alabaster box of very precious ointment. It's very, very, very important that the box be alabaster. You know why? Because alabaster is translucent. It is pure. It is white. It is virgin. And only that which flows from the pure aspect of your consciousness, which is the higher mind, can reach the Christ and touch his head. It can't be a black box. It can't be a spotted box. It can't be a dirty box. It has to be an alabaster box, because the ointment, which is the holiness, which is spirit that comes from you, can only come from the divine presence when you raise yourself above thought. That's why it's an alabaster box. Okay? And that's extremely important for you to understand that. That's where it pours from. And what's saying it? Now, notice something here. The woman brought it. Everywhere in Scripture, everywhere in mysticism, everywhere in mythology, the woman represents that which is the human spirit, that which is the emotions. And so what is happening here? That part of you which is your emotional nature, that part of you which is the human spirit, must come to the Christ, but can only bring this to the Christ, this gift to the Christ, from that which is the pure aspect of higher consciousness, that which is alabaster. Can't bring it any other way. And this is what's got to come, the woman, the emotions. That's the human spirit. That's why, like when you have a restoration of your life, okay, you then become Israel, as I've told you many times. Israel is not a Jewish word, it's an Egyptian word. It's made up of 3 Egyptian gods. Is is Isis, which is the human spirit. That's the woman. Ra is the mind, sun god. And El comes out of the Bull Mithra cult, which means the manifestation of a God consciousness within you. It's the God impulse in you. That's why the word angel, that El means an impulse inside of you. That's why all of the angels' names end in El, Michael, Gabriel, Uriel, Raphael. It's an impulse. There are no people inside of you. There's nobody with wings flying around anywhere. This is all electronics. Divine electronics, yes. But this impulse comes from the right side of your brain. It is an angel. It is an electrical impulse. When you have your spirit, your human spirit, which is Is, you have your mind, which is Ra. When you have these two together in accord with Christ, it then becomes Israel, the God impulse inside of you. You become Israel. It has nothing to do with a country in the Middle East. And how do you know it has nothing to do with a country in the Middle East? Because the Apostle Paul said, a Jew is one inwardly, not outwardly. Okay? So there, we begin to understand the woman brings this alabaster box. So your human spirit raises. Now, understand, the woman comes with the ointment, means your human spirit, the emotional nature, is raised upward to reach that which is the Christ consciousness. And you can only come through this alabaster. You can only come through absolute purity. So how do you reach that? How is it possible for you in Fork and River, or wherever you live, or you people on television, how do you do that? Can you do that? I mean, most times you go to church, they say, I want you to live in a divine realm. Follow God. Follow Christ. You say, how? Where is he? Where's he going? I don't know. What am I going to do with this? How am I going to do this? Very simply, all you have to do is enter within yourself, raise your consciousness above the thoughts of the mind, and you enter into that which is called nirvana, which is alabaster. It's virgin consciousness. It is pure. It is white. And from that will flow the ointment to the Christ. There's where you'll touch Christ consciousness, and that's what this is talking about. And it's beautiful that you understand it doesn't cost you any money. It doesn't cost you a dime. You don't have to come to this church. You don't have to go to any church. All you have to do is discipline yourself. Because if you don't, then you are taking yourself out of harmony with the universe. You are taking yourself out of harmony with the world. You are taking yourself out of harmony with everything which is God. And when you are out of harmony, you are in disease. That's exactly where it comes from. It's not being in harmony. Like we said, this magnificent thing happened yesterday in the universe. Most people had no idea it happened. No idea it happened. Because I talk to people, I'm not involved in that stuff. I don't get involved in it. How can you? You're living on a tennis ball going 40,000 miles an hour through space. Nobody's driving the thing. You're going in between comets and electrons and black holes and white holes. And you're saying, I don't have anything to do with that. I don't want to get involved with it. You know? Here you're living on this tennis ball going through black holes, and you're living for security. You want to get security for your kids. You got things whizzing by. Pew, 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 pew. Explosions in the cosmos, and you're riding on this grapefruit going through the sky, and you're looking for security. How much security does that flea have on a tennis ball? Pow! You got security here. Right. So the security comes from what? Harmonizing with it, flowing with it. That's what you got to do. That's what we were doing yesterday. All day, flowing with the harmony of the universe, flowing with the harmony of the zodiac. You got a lot of little kids here, a lot of little children in the back here. Your fathers and mothers and little children. First thing you're going to see your little children do is go like this. I can't do it too often because I get rah. All right, now let me get my back. Let them do it. You know what they're doing? They're doing the zodiac. They're doing God's universe. Because they're close to God. The first thing a child instinctively wants to do is go around in circles. And the first thing the old crotchety will say, stop doing that, you're going to get dizzy. I want you to grow up and be like me. I don't do that. You'll never grow up to have a psychiatrist like your daddy if you stand spinning around in a circle like that. I want you to be rich and become a lawyer like me so you can be nice, have a personality like me. And then the little kid said, well, why can't I? Because I said so. Jeez. Is this something? Is this true? They're in rhythm with the universe. They're doing what God sends them to do. They were just out of the arms of God, so they know they spin just like, spin. Sometimes get a tape or something. Look at the whirling dervishes. They spin beautifully. It's a meditation to spin. See? They spin to the music, and they'll spin for an hour and a half, 2 hours. They spin the rhythm of the universe because they're coming in harmony with it. I'm not saying you have to spin. Some of you people spin, and you shouldn't be spinning, but I mean, that's another story. That's another story. Yes. Well, you see how they laughed, and you, oh, boy, struck a nerve. So there's... Harmony is what comes when the woman, the spirit, the emotions within you, raises itself to bring the ointment in the purity of consciousness to the Christ. You can do that. You can act out this story. That's what makes it beautiful. That's why Jesus says all of these things are done in parables. See? Now,